Good morning, friends, and welcome to part 2 of this devotional series that we've entitled Putting the Good in Goodbye. Now, before we begin with this morning's devotion, let me say that I realize the title might sound a little flippant because there are many occasions in our lives when we might feel that there is nothing good about the goodbye. And I don't mean to convey it in such a flippant way, but there is a way to put life and meaning in the act of saying goodbye. And I suppose that's what we mean when we've entitled this service, Putting the Good in Goodbye. Learning to say goodbye well is a crucial skill because goodbye, as we mentioned last week, is something that's a very natural, normal part of our day-to-day lives, both in small ways and in big ways. And we can learn how to say goodbye well by doing a couple of things. The first is to be prepared for what is an inevitable goodbye. In almost all interactions, in all spheres of life, in all seasons of life, there will come a time to say goodbye. It is inevitable. And if we want to learn how to say goodbye well, we have to be prepared. We have to prepare not only ourselves for saying goodbye, but also those whom we're saying goodbye to. We see Jesus doing precisely this with his disciples on a number of occasions. One such moment is recorded for us in John chapter 16 and verse 16, where Jesus says to his disciples, in light of his own impending death, "In a little while, you will see me no more." Simple words that we almost gloss over far too quickly. But what Jesus was doing in this moment, and in a number of other moments, is he was preparing his disciples for the inevitable goodbye that would come. He did so in a number of different ways, but one thing remained consistent: his own consistency in preparing his disciples and himself for his inevitable goodbye. We ought to pay attention to these things that can take place in very practical ways of preparing administratively and logistically for the big goodbyes of life. It can also be done in simple ways. For example, in our own home, we have a standard practice when it comes to saying goodbye in the mornings. To each child, I put the question, "What's the rule?" And each of them have a different rule. One is, "I'll always come back for you." The other is, "I'll always love you." And so it goes on. But those are small ways in which we can help prepare the ones whom we love for the inevitable goodbye, whether it's in the morning before we go to work or the bigger goodbyes. The point is that if we're going to learn to say goodbye well in a way that is life-giving and enriching, we have to be prepared for it, both for ourselves and for those to whom we will be saying goodbye. This is a difficult task and often requires painful conversations, but it is absolutely imperative for us to prepare for the inevitable goodbye. To that end, friends, goodbye and God bless you.